Alright, hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of Pokemon Gen 2. We are now here on Route 29, and after that rival battle at the end of part 1, we are going to go back to Professor Elm and see what that phone call was all about, right after we left Mr. Pokemon's house. So we're back home, we're back in New Barktown. We're gonna go see what he had to say. Our Pokemon was stolen from here. Oh, the cops, huh? I was just getting some information from Professor Elm. Apparently it was a young male with long red hair. You bowed to a trainer like that. Did you happen to get his name? Well, here we can name our rival anything we want. His actual name in the game is actually Silver. So I am actually going to just give him the name of Silver. But even though, you know, you can name him anything you want, so I'm just gonna call him Silver. Just for, consistency. Okay, so Silver was his name. Thanks for helping with my investigation. Alright, Professor Elm, what you gotta say for us? Trevor, this is terrible. Oh yes, what was Mr. Pokemon's big discovery? We handed a mystery egg to him. This? He literally took a whole ass step back. But is it a Pokemon egg? This is a great discovery. What? He gave you a Pokédex? Sure, is that true? That's incredible. He's superb to see the potential of people as trainers. You might have what it takes to become the... Wow, he thinks I can become the champion just from that. You seem to be getting along great with Pokemon too. You should take the Pokemon Gym Challenge. The closest gym would be the one in Violet City. Yeah, we already know. Oh, we gotta go talk to our mom now. And he's gonna give us a call when he learns anything about the egg. Trevor, use these on your Pokemon quest. I received 5 Pokeballs, even though it's a limitation of text, even though it says we received 1. So, yeah, as the aide here will tell us. And as we go to our pack and go to our Pokeballs section, yeah, we have 5 Pokeballs. So, you know what that means? We're able to start catching shit! But, just like what Professor Elm said, we have to talk to our mother, who is in the kitchen. Oh, that's a cute Pokemon. Thanks, Mom. Where'd you get it? Professor Elm? So you're leaving on an adventure. Okay, I'll help too. But what can I do for you? I know, I'll save money for you. You want me to save your money? No! Be careful. Pokemon are your friends. You need to work as a team. Now go on. So yeah, that's the thing about this game is that you can, when you earn a bunch of money, you can actually, all that type of stuff. I've seen you a couple of times. How many Pokemon have you caught? None. Would you like to show me how to catch Pokemon? Sure, why not? So, just like in every other game, this is just a tutorial on how to catch Pokemon. Bro ran into a Rattata. So he's just gonna catch a Rattata at full health with just a Pokeball. You know, what are the odds of that? Not very good. But it seemed to work out. That's how you do it. If you weaken them first, Pokemon are easier to catch. Yeah, as we already stated. So now that we're here on Route 29, and we can actually start catching shit, we're gonna go ahead and talk about some of the random encounters here right now. Alright, first up here on Route 29, we have probably the most common bird Pokemon that you will probably run into a lot in, well, not just this game, but all the other ones. Pidgey. Pidgey is a decent normal flying type, as you can see there. Yeah, they're also gonna, all these bios in this game are gonna have a time of day, because this game introduces time. This Pokemon can be found in all the versions, so if you don't hear me say about versions, then that's why. But anyways, Pidgey here is a decent normal flying type. It's not too bad, but also not too good.
So it's decent. Alright, next up we have Rattata, which is a, decent normal type. I'm actually kind of scared to death of it in its evolved form. A lot of people would use this as a HM slave. I would personally recommend the next Pokemon that we're going to go over as an HM slave, because I think it learns better HM moves than the Rattata line. But, it's still decent enough as a HM slave, but I just don't recommend this one as an HM slave. But it's in all 3 games, but it's a lot more common at night. So even if you want to pick one up, pick it up then, or now. Alright, up next we have our first random encounter from Gen 2, Sentret. Now, like I kind of pre-mentioned in the last bio, if you want a good early HM slave, and you don't want to use Rattata, I would recommend you to pick up Sentret here, because it can learn a lot of better HM moves than Rattata could. But, Sentret's decent, I guess. It's kind of your standard, middle of the road, early rodent normal type that you can find in the game. But, like I said, it's a better HM slave than Rattata. Next up we have our next flying type, Hoothoot, which is the Gen 2 equivalent to Pidgey. I think Hoothoot learns more better attacks than Pidgey does. It mainly focuses a lot on like psychic attacks and hypnosis and stuff like that. It can only be found at night, as you can see right there. But yeah, I kind of like Hoothoot, although I don't know if I'm gonna pick one up now, but I might pick one up later just for sake of consistency. But yeah, it's a decent normal flying type. When it's a lot of psychic attacks, so if you want something like that, have at it. And last up we have Hoppip, which is a grass and flying type. Kind of an unusual type, but and speaking of its type, it's quad weak to ice, so that's a major thing you have to get around. But there aren't too many ice types in this game, at least not now. You can only get this in Crystal right now, but it can be found in the other games later. This Pokemon's really not worth going after, at least not right now. All it knows is Splash, which is the most useful move in the game. Which, if you race a Magikarp before, you know what Splash does. But, yeah, if you want one, don't catch it now.
Alright, thanks very much. Gonna do the same thing like how we did in Gen 1. We are only gonna showcase random encounters of what a Pokemon I attempt to catch. But, yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. So I'm cutting out all random encounters, just like the last one. This is Route 46, which is just a little area where you can catch some more Pokemon. And we're gonna go over them over here real quick. Alright, first up here on Route 46, we have our next normal flying type, Spearow. Now, I used Spearow in the last Let's Play, for Pokemon. I think it is better than Pidgey, as in it's faster and more aggressive. If you want a more faster and aggressive bird Pokemon, and, you don't want Pidgey. Now, it does have its perks and, and quirks, but I think it's, like I said, it is better. So yeah, if you want one, why not? Have at it. Pick one up. I think you'll have a great time with it. Next up, we have Jigglypuff. Now, you can only find this Pokemon on this route in Gold and Silver. It is in Crystal, so if you're playing Crystal like me, you'll be able to encounter it later. I will make note of that, of when you're able to encounter it in Crystal. But, as a Pokemon itself, if you're playing Gold and Silver, it's a decent Pokemon. It's has a lot of HP and, well, kind of decent-ish defenses, but, it's decent for what it is. A lot of people, like it because of the anime, but, yeah, it's decent. Up next, we have Geodude, which is a rock and ground type. It's a pretty decent Pokemon in terms of its, defenses. Whether it's physical defense, so it can take hits pretty damn good. But looking at its typing,
Yeah, not so much. It has a lot of weaknesses, with two of them being quad weaknesses of water and grass. So, I mean, it's decent for, I guess, going up against the first gym leader, but after that, I really wouldn't recommend it. And last up, really rare and only in the morning, and only in Crystal, at least on this route, we have Fampy. Now, if you want a really good ground type, I kind of would actually recommend you to pick one of these guys up. They're really rare, about 5% I would say. But yeah, if you want a really good, decent ground type, I would actually recommend you go after this guy. But yeah, I mean, if you want a better ground type later, you can do that. But I recommend you pick one of these guys up. You want a good, decent ground type. And yeah, even though I kind of like it, I'm not gonna get one myself.
And thanks very much. Oh boy. I'm gonna be honest here, guys. In this part, there's a lot of encounters I have to go over. It's well over 25 Pokemon I have to go over in this episode. So if the bios seem like a lot, I really do apologize. Oh, rookie trainer. Yeah, I know, I am a rookie trainer. Show me a few things? Yeah, sure, whatever. It's a Pokemon Center. Well, no shit, they heal your weak and dead Pokemon. Just like how I mentioned before, all first visits will be shown, everything else will be cut out. If you want items, go to Pokemart. Route 30 is out this way. Trainers will be battling the prize Pokemon there. Yes. This is the sea, as you can see. Well, no shit. Some Pokemon are only found in the water. Yes. Here, it's my house. Thanks for your company. Let me give you a small gift. And we got the map card. So yeah, we don't get the town map as an item, but we get a map card for our Pokegear, which kind of also acts as a town map. When I was a young lad, I was a hot-shot trainer. Here's a word of advice. Catch lots of Pokemon. Treat them all with kindness. Yes. Alright, so now we're here on Route 30. We got some Pokemon we're gonna catch here. And we're gonna go over the random encounters here real quick.
Alright, we have a short little laundry list of Pokemon to go over here on this route. So first off, we have Caterpie. It can only be found in Gold and Crystal. Now, Caterpie is, obviously the generic bug Pokemon that you can find early in the game. Its stats are bad, and they kind of shine a lot more in this game than, in the last one. But, I don't know. I don't really think you should really go after this one, honestly. I'm sure there's probably some situations you can use it for. Next up, we have Caterpie's Evolved Form Metapod. It can only be found in the wild in Gold. Honestly, if you really want a Butterfree on your team, just catch as a Caterpie. It's honestly a lot easier to train, honestly. And like how I said about Caterpie, the Evolution Family's bat stats shine a lot more in this one than the last game. But I don't know. Like I said before, if you really want a Caterpie, or if you really want a Butterfree, just catch as a Caterpie. You'll just be better off just catching as a Caterpie and training it up. Next up is Weedle, which is a bug and poison type. It can only be found in Silver and Crystal. If you really want something that can poison really early in the game, there's better choices out there, but I guess for like a temporary poison team member, you can't go wrong with this one, I guess. If you want its fully evolved form Beedrill, just catch it this way. I wouldn't even recommend going after its evolved form, which we will go over here momentarily. But yeah, like I said, it's decent, I guess. Next up we have Kakuna, which is the evolved form of Weedle. Just like how I mentioned with Metapod, if you want to catch its fully evolved form, which in this case is Beedrill, just catch it as a Weedle, and you would have a little bit of a better time of training it instead of just catching a Kakuna. Kakuna can only be found in Crystal in the wild, well, not in Crystal, but in Silver in the wild. But, you know, like how I said, if you want something that's good to poison early in the game, go for the Weedle, and if you want Beedrill, just catch it as a Weedle. We will be able to go over Beedrill and Butterfree later. Next up, we have Zubat, which is a poison flying type. You can only find it out here in Crystal. Now, we all know Zubat. You walk into a cave, and then, oh, poof! 3 or 4 steps in, and here you go. Here comes Zubat, coming at ya. Zubat is actually pretty good. You know, with it being so common, it is actually pretty good. It's probably the fastest thing you'll encounter this early in the game. So if you needed something that's fast, like, you know, like this, then, you know, why not? It's actually a good Pokemon. Like how I mentioned in the last game, I'm not going to go after one, but maybe another time. Next up, we have the first water type you can encounter in the wild, Poliwag. Now, Poliwag is actually pretty good, I do have to admit. It's definitely one of my favorites of the, you know, early Pokemon that you can encounter in this game. As you can see there, it can evolve at level 25, and then it has a split evolution, because Poliwhirl got a new evolution. I will pick one up if I can find one, but which way will it evolve? I don't know. You'll have to wait and see. Although I'm really hoping for one way, but, well, times might change. I'll need to go the other way. Don't worry guys, we're almost done here. Next up we have Ladybug. It is a bug flying type. It's not good. I mean, it's really not one of those, it's not good. It's the suckiest suck that ever sucked. I wouldn't even recommend it. I mean, I guess if you really wanted it, you can really go after it just to complete your Pokédex if you really wanted to. It can only be found in Silver and Crystal, so, I mean, if you're playing any of those games, you can catch it if you want, but honestly, why would you even bother with this one? I wouldn't even recommend or even entertain the thought of getting one of these guys. And last up, we have Spinarak, which is a bug poison type. This can only be encountered in Gold and Crystal. I think that this Pokemon is probably a bit better to use instead of the Weedle line, personally. I mean, I've used my fair share of Spinaraks over the years. So, if you really want a good bug poison type, this is somewhat better than the Weedle line, just by a little bit. Although, you know, level 22 is a decent level to evolve at for a single stage, you know, Pokemon, but yeah, it's decent.
Alright, thanks very much. So there is a Pokemon that I do want to catch here on this route, and it is one of the few that we just went over. And this route has the most Pokemon that we will be going over in the video. A grand total of 8. I mean, as you can no doubt tell. So yeah, we're gonna give Zuko here a berry to hold. And oh, we have our first random encounter that we're gonna catch. It's a Poliwag! And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our second team member! Woo! Now, as you saw in the bio for Poliwag, its evolved form has a chance to evolve into one of 2 Pokemon depending on what methodology you use. Because if you remember, when we went over Poliwag back in Gen 1, it only had 1. But now it's Gen 2, and it has 2 evolutions for our final stage. So, Which one am I gonna go after? You'll have to wait and find out. But for the meantime, we're gonna catch him. Well, her, I should say. Oh yeah, that's right. This was also the game that introduced Pokemon genders. But there are no gender differences yet between the species themselves. That won't be until Gen 4. So we caught Poliwag. The swirl on his belly is its insides showing through the skin. It looks clear as... okay, whatever. Give a nickname to Poliwag? Yes, we will. Since it's part of the team, we are going to name her Tsunami. You know, like the wave tsunami. Alright, we have level 4 here. Literally only knows Bubble. And its speed's pretty high. So we're gonna have to go and yeah, give Zuko a berry. Okay. And switch all of them around, and we're gonna go heal. Alright. And jump cut. Yep, that's how we're gonna do it. Okay. Now, keep in mind here, guys, that in this game, there are 251 Pokemon in total. Am I gonna catch all 251? No. More likely I probably won't. But here we have our first actual regular trainer battle. I just lost, but I'm trying to find more Pokemon. Wait, you look weak. Come on, let's battle! This guy's very important because, as we look at his name... Youngster Joey! The man, the myth, the legend himself. Youngster Joey and his damn Rattata. But yeah, as I was saying earlier about the genders, Pokemon now have genders, regardless on what, the species of Pokemon is. In Gen 1, there were only 2 Pokemon that had genders. And it was both Nidorans. Nidoran male and female, but since they had genders, because they were their own separate species. But here, pretty much everything can have genders. Except for, certain Pokemon like Legendaries and the brand new Steel type. And some other non-Steel type and non-Legendary Pokemon. But either way, the vast majority of Pokemon have genders now. And also, this was the first game in which the trainers themselves had actual names outside of like major fights. Like boss battles, gym leaders, Elite Four, and of course your rival. And speaking of trainer battles, we are going to be showcasing every single one once again. So you'll be seeing every single bit of experience I get through trainer battles. Now I'm sticking with this one no matter what. Listen, can I get your phone number? We got Joey's number! Oh man. Oh, and by the way, when you register someone's number in this game, they will call you at very random times and tell you some really random shit. Whether if it's good information or just shit that you really don't want to fucking hear. Alright, so here we have another battle. This kid's got a Pidgey. I didn't even see what his name was, and honestly, I don't really care. Because there's always one youngster that I always care about, and it's, of course, youngster Joey himself. This is also the first game in which the Pokemon sprites themselves are animated, as you probably could tell by now, through encounters or just send them out for battle, which is pretty cool. And then Pokemon sprites weren't animated up until Gen 3 with Emerald. And then after that, Gen 4 had all their sprites kind of animated for pretty much everything. And then Gen 5 came and all the sprites were full body animated. And then since Gen 6, it's all the dumb, lame, washed out 3D models. Which is, they're alright, but you know, I miss the actual pixelated sprite art. I mean, seriously, pull up the most recent modern Pokemon game that you got right now, and then watch the video side by side. Tell me which art direction looks better. I'm old school, so I prefer the old school pixelated art, which looks so good. This was also the generation that introduced shiny Pokemon. Now if I end up finding a shiny during a random encounter, I will show it off and I will catch it. Although it's pretty rare to find it, or find one I should say. Your chances of finding a shiny in this game is 1 in 8,192 chance. It is really, really rare. But also in this game, there's an even rarer chance of finding not a Pokemon, not a person, but a third life form that could be considered as a quote-unquote disease. And we all know what it is. It's Pokerus. I don't know what the chances are of encountering something like that is. But just know that it is in this game, and it is really, really rare for it to happen. But you have to physically contact another Pokemon in order to contract it, you know, for yourself. So, unless if you're a big repel hog, like I am, in most cases, you will not see it. And it's also the same thing about shinies. So what I should do is I should probably, when I'm recording more footage, I should probably not use any repel. But speaking of recording footage for this game, as of right now, at the point where I'm recording the commentary for this game, after this part, I have maybe probably somewhere between 8 and 11 more episodes that of the game footage that is recorded. So, you know, I think that we're gonna have a good time with this game. Now, Gen 2 glitches. I feel like that should also kind of be mentioned throughout the game too, which I will mention them off and on, not as often as I could, but you know. There are some glitches that are kind of cool in this game, but I don't remember what any of them are, so I'm gonna have to do some research on them. But yeah, we beat our last trainer of Route 30, and we're here on Route 31, and we're gonna go over the Pokemon that are right here on this route. Alright, first up here on Route 31, we have 2 new Pokemon, which first up we have Bellsprout. Bellsprout is a grass and poison type. It's a decent mixed attacker, but unless you want to invest heavily in TMs into it, it's not a good Pokemon. But I kind of do recommend you to pick one of these guys up even if you have a Chikorita. But like I said, it's a decent mix attacker, and if you want to invest TMs into it, I'm gonna say pass on it. But pick one up if you have a Chikorita. And last up we have Ghastly, which is our first ghost type Pokemon. It can only be found at night, as you can see on there, and only in Crystal. Ghastly is a very good special attacker. If you need something that's really good for the special attacking field, I highly recommend it. Now of course when you get it to its next stage, you're gonna have to find someone to trade. I'm not gonna pick one of these guys up, because I've used them too much, over the years. But yeah, if you need a good special attacker, and especially a good ghost type, Ghastly's a good one.
Alright, thanks very much. We are going to catch a Pokemon here on this route. But, are we going to use it for the team? I don't know. You'll have to wait and see. So we're going to go up through... Okay, this guy is not a trainer. Dark Cave. If Pokemon could light it up, I could explore it. But yeah, this is Dark Cave right here. We're not going to go over it in this part. But, we are going to go over it at a later time. Alright, we found a potion right here. There are some Pokemon that you can find in Dark Cave. They're more or less decent, I guess. I walked too far if we're looking for Pokemon today. My feet hurt, I'm kind of sore. And this guy just falls asleep. Oh, speaking of which... Yo, Trevor, how you doing? This is Joey, got a minute? Let's get together and battle. I promise things will be different. Route 30's where I'll be. Give me a shout when you're there. Alright, later. Yeah, that's how you also rematch trainers you've already fought. Is you give them their phone number and they will fight you when they're ready. I mean, we could go back down and go re-challenge Joey, but yeah, we're not gonna do that. So we got a bug catcher here. I mean, of course, you guys know what bug catchers use. We went over this before. In Gen 1. Bug types. That's it. Speaking of which... kind of like how I mentioned in the bio for Caterpie, that its bad stats shine a lot more in this game. So, I mean, having a Butterfree isn't too bad of a Pokemon to have, if you want, like, something that's mostly decent, but its stats are kind of bad, though. Tsunami learned Hypnosis. That is the ultimate sleep-inflicting move in the game. So yeah, if you want a good move to put things to sleep, then you didn't have like, I don't know, like a grass type that uses sleep powder or something. Hypnosis is always the one way to go. I actually like using Hypnosis because, well, it's the ultimate sleepy move in the game. But yeah, if I end up finding a shiny, I will definitely catch it. In fact, in the point where I'm at in terms of recording game footage, I am
6 badges in. And I have 5 team members. Because here's what I'm going to do for all the Pokemon main games from this point onward. Every generation will have Pokemon that are fully evolved will be from... Okay, hold on, I don't know how I'm gonna word this. Okay. So, depending on the generation that we're doing, half of the team has to be fully evolved and were introduced in the game that we are currently doing. So, in this case, since we're doing Gen 2, half of the team has to be Gen 2. At least. Bare minimal. And then the other half can be any of the other generations. So in the case of this game, half the team has to be Gen 2, and the other half Gen 1. Half and half. Which, you know, is fair. Oh yeah, we're also gonna look for that Pokemon we're gonna catch that we did go over on this route. And here it is! Bellsprout. Now, I do like me a Bellsprout. I've used a lot of them growing up when I first played Leaf Green as a kid. Because it was my version exclusive Grass and Poison type. But it is not going to be a temporary team member, but, well, actually it kind of will be for just a little bit. And she killed Tsunami. If I recall correctly, I think Zuko gets his first fire move in the next level. I think. But we won't see it here. Yeah, just go ahead and throw a Pokeball at it. I picked up a Pokeball not too long ago to replace the one I used for Tsunami. And we caught a Bellsprout. But also, like how I kind of mentioned in the bio for Bellsprout, even if you're a Chikorita user, you might be smart for you to pick up a Bellsprout. Because the next gym leader, well, not next gym leader, but our first gym leader that we will have to go after. We will give it a nickname. Let's see here, what are we gonna name her? Weed Girl! Instead of an I, it's a U. Oh, with 2 L's. Okay. I found a good Pokemon in Dark Cave. I'm going to race and to take on Faulkner. He's leader, Violet's the gym leader. Yes. That is going to be the name of our first gym leader we're going to go to. Did you visit Sprout Tower? Well, no, I just got here. I have to phone home. E.T. phone home. But, welcome to Violet City, everybody. This is where our first gym leader will be, like I kind of briefly mentioned, and how that other guy mentioned. So yeah, even though we have 3 Pokemon on our team right now, 2 of them are on the main team, we have a Grass, Fire, and Water type on our team. Let's take a look at Bellsprout here, even though we're not going to really fully use it. All it has is Vine Whip. And, yeah, see, it's a decent mix attacker. It's also kind of fast, too. In terms of stats, it is, it's definitely better than its, other counterpart that we also talked about back in Gen 1. But, like how I also mentioned, you have to invest in a lot of TMs into Bellsprout in order for it to be a good Pokemon. I mean, it's it's a decent mix attacker, but you have to invest TMs into it, which is kind of, it's kind of whatever, honestly. What do you have to say? I collect Pokemon. Do you have Bellsprout? Want to trade it for Onix? Okay, so you can trade this guy a Bellsprout for his Onix. Now, Onix here, it's a rock and ground type. It's pretty good in terms of its physical defense, just like Geodude earlier on Route 46. Just like Geodude, its typing is god-awful. If it's hit with any type of water or grass type attack, it's down in one hit. Unlike, the Geodude line, it's pretty fast. But, I actually kind of recommend you to do this trade if you have a Chikorita. So that way you can go up against our first gym leader here in a little while. Why, yes we will. This is why I said that even if you're a Chikorita user, you might be in your best interest to pick up a Bellsprout. And you could, trade this Bellsprout that you got for this guy's Onix. Now, like how I just briefly mentioned the bio, regardless of the level of the Bellsprout, will be the level of the guy's Onix. And yes, the shiny chance also counts for doing in-game trades too. And it's the same, 1 in 8,192. And also, traded Pokemon have notoriously bad nicknames. I mean, you know what? I think we should probably take a look at it anyways. Yeah, his name's Rocky. Has Tackle and Screech, and you also got a free Bitterberry out of the trade, so even if you don't want to use the Onix, you'll have a Bitterberry, which is a held item that can cure confusion. So yeah, we're gonna take the item, and we're gonna go back to the Pokemon Center after talking to this guy, and just put him in the PC, because I have no need for an Onix. Good thing is that in this game, he has an evolution now. Am I going to use it? No, I'm not. So Rocky's just gonna sit in the PC for all eternity. Violet City, the city of nostalgic. Faulkner from the gym leader is a fine trainer. He inherited his father's gym and done a great job. Alright, cool. So we have a generational line of gym leaders. We're gonna go through this house. She uses the names of her favorite things to eat. For a nickname she gives her Pokemon, I mean. I call my Pidgey Strawberry. Okay, that's cool. It's just like the Wiggly Tree and Squirms and Ants is cool. A Wiggly Tree, I want to see a Wiggly Tree. Here on Route 36. What do you have to say? An odd tree is blocking the way to Goldenrod City. It's preventing me from shopping. Something should be done about it. Ah, go fuck yourself, bitch. Well, hey! I was going to snap that tree with my straight arm punch, but I couldn't. I'm a failure. Well, at least he admits it. Yeah, this is the Wiggly tree that the people were talking about. This will be important for something later. But right here is a patch of grass, which is only in this version, not in the remakes, but we're going to talk about the random encounters here on this route. Alright, first up on this route we have Nidoran Female, which is a poison type as you can see. Now prior to Gen 2, this Pokemon and its male counterpart were the only Pokemon that have genders. But now, everything has genders, so it kind of doesn't really matter on genders, but they're the only species that is a gender, and, their own separate, kind of Pokemon. It's a very decent poison type, but, fully evolved, it's gonna be Quadbeak to ground.
for some odd reason. But, you know, it's a decent poison type, so if you need something that's, you know, a good poison type, I kind of recommend it. Next up, we have the counterpart, Nidoran male. Now, both Nidorans, both male and females, are both found in gold and silver. But, you know, they're their own separate species, of course. Same things kind of apply with this one to the female, although it should also be mentioned that the males are more offensive and the females are more defensive. But, you know, more or less the same concept. If you want a good poison type early in the game, I would kind of recommend you to pick up this one more than the other one, but, you know, they both have their quirks. Like how I also said, they're good. Next up, we have Vulpix, which is a fire type. Vulpix can only be found in silver. Now Vulpix is a decent fire type, although going from the last the last game into this game, as a fire type, its stat distribution is kind of bad. Because, yeah, the special stat that got split into special attack and special defense, and, you know, most fire types are good with special attack. This one is only good with special defense, which is kind of bad for a fire type, but it's average, I guess. Alright, next up we have Growlithe, which is the counterpart to Vulpix. Now, I used Growlithe in the last LP, and it was really, really good. You know, Smokey did a really good job of being my main fire type. This Pokemon can only be found in Gold and Crystal, so it's a good fire type. If you like good, fast, and powerful offensive fire types, then, you know, it's a good one to go after. Has more fire moves in his arsenal, but, you know, it seems to work out a little bit more. So, yeah, why not? Go after it. It's good. Alright, and last up we have Stantler. Stantler can only be found in gold and silver. I would only recommend to pick this guy up for one to put stuff to sleep in boss fights, because it can learn Hypnosis pretty early. It's... Unless you don't want to pick it up for that reason, and you just want to catch it just only for your Pokédex, there's also that reason to have it too. But, it's kind of a subpar normal type. I mean, yeah, it learns a lot of weird attacks, but I kind of don't really recommend it, honestly.
Alright, thank you very much. Luckily for you guys, that's going to be the last set of bios for the video. That is the Ruins of Alph, which we will be going over in the next part. Believe me. That area is kind of annoying, honestly. It's really a side area, but it's kind of cool to explore a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna pick up some stuff. We're gonna grab some potions here. We're gonna get, 5 of them. 2008, what a year what a time to be alive. Yeah. What do you have to say? Pokemon can hold items like potion and antidote, but they don't appear to know how to use man-made items. Yes, as I said before. So if you want to give them an item to use, let them hold a berry. They'll know what to do with it. But with a man-made item, no. Alright, what does this guy have to say? Yeah, right here is the gym, which we will not go over here in this episode, but we will in the next one. Did you battle the gym leader? When you did? Is that so? Then you shall study. Oh yeah, this guy likes to spin around and twirl like, whee! Here, teacher I am! Okay. Apparently he didn't come from this country. Earl's Pokemon Academy. So it's just like the schoolhouse in Viridian City in the last generation, where you learn about a whole bunch of other things like status inflictions and, you know, that type of stuff. these guys are playing Game Boys and even though they're in school. Yes, as I just mentioned several times, and as other people have been mentioning several times, taking notes of the teacher's lecture. I better copy the stuff on the blackboard too. Alright, let's take a look at his notebook. Catch Pokemon using Pokeballs. No shit. Up to 6 can be in your party. Keep reading? Yes! Before learn a Pokeball, weaken the target first. Yes, as we learned from the guy doing the catching tutorial. Yes. Okay. This is just some common knowledge stuff that... It's just some common stuff that most people already know. Whee! Earl, I am! Teach you I will be better, trainer. Want to be a winner is you? So want to know how to race Pokemon well? Oh, smart student you are. Nothing more I can do. Good to Pokemon you must. Okay, I don't know why I'm talking to this guy again. For God's sake. Fine, teach you I will. But yeah, he's just really energetic. So as we go to the blackboard here, has all the sciences, you know, poisons, you'll drastically keep losing health even outside of battle, and it will faint after, after a while. Sleeping, you can sleep for however long you want, usually lasting at least 5 or 6 turns. But unlike the last game, sleep does not take an entire turn. Woo! Frozen, you're not completely fucked up just by being frozen. You can defrost automatically or use a fire move. Paralysis, same thing, just reduces speed a little bit. And burn reduces your attack, but you also lose damage throughout the, as time goes on. And you will faint from it outside of battle. So we're here at Sprout Tower. We're gonna go ahead and cover this next time. So thanks for watching.